fresh billet of 01 steel here. Oh, what a beautiful blank. 1/8 inch thick, 2 inches wide. But we're going to only use 1 inch of that for our project. Client Matthew contacts me. Both him and his father are in the trades, and they would like a custom built fixed blade, a knife that they can wear every day in trades work. I assume like contractor type work, carpentry work, maybe electrical work, I'm not sure. And so I've been contracted to build exactly that. A knife with all the elements you want for an EDC in a contractor trade type work. So we're going with a fixed blade here, a Warncliffe style nose, the size, dimensions are just right, and then some of the stylistic aspects I got to pick out myself, which is always exciting. And most times when I'm doing a custom build like this, I just do the 1 or 2, whatever's ordered, and that's it. Occasionally, I have something to build like this, and I'm really happy with the design, and I say, I think that could be useful for a lot of people, not just the client. So what I'm going to do today, what I often do when that happens, is I do a small run of them. Not an absurd amount, but just a small run to make available for you guys.
I'm adding a nice deep sharpening notch to this knife, to this design, because being an EDC type knife and in a trade setting, it might just get sharpened a whole lot. So your blade can change shape quickly. A good sharpening notch will help that. Now I'll get to perimeter grinding the knife, and that is tracing out my line that I drew. But this is also where you make those fine adjustments and you really create your template. This is kind of a feel process, because for the first time you get to hold that knife in your hand, feel the handle. Sometimes you might want to knock corners off or make little adjustments. This is a deburring process here now, because if you don't do this after grinding those edges, you will you give your hands a hard time.
Ooh, it's hot under that gear today, but we have 4 to start perimeter ground. Don't want to do too many right at the start, just in case there's a glitch in the design, something we don't like. We haven't wasted too much steel, but I actually love this design. You could probably catch some of the inspiration, the actual blade shape, from the Osborne, which is probably one of the best EDC knives in the world, just best known actually. Went with a kind of a nice, cool handle style. Love it, just feels great. That slight little bit leaning more towards the Warncliffe than the 940 for those utility type cutting tasks. Best not to have that big belly sweep. Love it. Let's get on to doing our blade grinding.
A nice medium-high flat grind, very serviceable. I want this knife to be easy to sharpen and a good performer. So a nice medium flat grind. You might call it a saber grind, but those kind of overlap. They're the same thing. I have freehand ground every knife I've ever made right from the start. I've never used a jig of any kind, no mounts, not even file guides or like plunge line guides or jigs. And that sometimes means I don't have 100% accuracy, and occasionally my grind lines are a little off, and sometimes that means I have to do a little extra work and fixing up and straightening edge lines and things like that. But over the years, the accumulation of time, this has saved me. And the amount of skill that I've developed now, not having to set up those jigs. And I've been able to become very accurate. I can craft a batch of knives and freehand grind them all and have the tolerances very close to each other. And this is something, again, it's a standard that I set right from the start. I said I don't want to rely on jigs, because I'll always need that jig. If I do not learn to freehand grind, then I'll spend my whole knife making career just relying on that jig and not truly developing that extra skill to do what you see me doing here right now. And I take pride that my knives are handcrafted. They aren't water jet cut, although if that's your style and that's a system you're using, that's fine. I'm not downing that at all. It makes for no less or more of a knife, but I just want to be honest with you guys, show you guys my process, and keep as much of this process handcrafted as possible. Keep the art in there, the craftsman's hand.
Four precious gems right out of heat treat. Listen to that. Listen to that hardness. The ring in that steel. Beautiful. These are going to get wire wheeled now to a forge finish. Oh, so nice. I lightened up the handles with some large holes there. So after we wire wheel these, we'll tape them up and then get to work on the handles for these. We are fully cured and we're going into the grinding room. Look at that thong tube in the back, center of the back, so you can put on a good strong lanyard if you want. Look at those geometric planes there we have added. You can see it a little better here right now on the colored, the lighter version here. Oh, let's grind these in.
Just like with grinding in the perimeter of the steel templates, the steel blanks that we did right at the beginning of this video, this right here now, grinding in that handle shape, is another stage of R&D and of experimenting and seeing the knife come to life for the very first time. We've only seen it in a two-dimensional type fashion so far. We've seen it on paper, we've drawn it out, we've imagined what it would look like, what it would feel like, but until you get this bulk added on here, there's no way to know. So how thick, how much do you want your tapers brought in? How do you want to round your corners? You know, what type of radius do you want? A kind of a harsh radius? Do you want a long sweeping radius? What's going to feel best in your hand for the dimensions of the tang? And this is something you kind of have to learn and play with. And once you hammer that down for this design, you can follow that in the future, but it takes a little bit of extra time and care to get that. For this design, I chose kind of a faceted pattern.
And here's a pair of EDC fixed blades completed for our client. If you're interested in the other two, you'll have to come back to the next video where I will hand sharpen these, and we're going to hand sharpen these to
a mirror polished edge just because I can't not. That beautiful blade suite deserves it. This is a gorgeous medium flat grind, ground very thin already. So we can do a nice low angle. Oh, it's gonna be good. But these turned out just beautiful. If you're interested in placing an order for a pair or one of these, you can email me at the email down below right now. Oh, what a nice EDC blade. I chose that faceted design there to give us some more traction. And it really gives a lot of bite. That's also why I have this nice deep choil here. You really lock in, but it's also smooth enough that to use in reverse like that is nice. You still got quite a fine point. Look at that forge finish. That's just smudging there, by the way. That's not a line on the blade. Oil smudging from my fingers there. Look at that beautiful material. That red liner pop. You got those kind of 940 Osborne. Actually, I just remembered I have my 940 on me here. Kind of a little bit 940-ish, right? But make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. If it's your first time here, leave me a comment down below. Like I said, if you're interested in purchasing one or both, the pair, the ones that are just about done, you'll see them finished in the next video. I just kind of save that. Go ahead and send me an email. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.